Hey, I am a man. With my feet on the ground, nigga, stand. I'ma face my problem up in hands. I'm just saying that I never ran. Yeah. I had the ball in spite of the pain. I was tired of the losses, I wanted the game. I want the whole world to know my name. If I make it out, no, I'm bringing the game. They my brothers, yeah, they know my pain. We gon' share it on mine, but I love them the same.
Welcome to Dream Tour. It's the podcast where we take you on a tour through many different types of people's dreams and aspirations. And today, we have a very special guest for you. I'm Lucas Watson, your host. And now let's get you all introduced to our special guest. What's your name?
Jaden Davis.
Where are you from?
Akron.
Tell us a little bit about it and like what it was like growing up there, what the city, how the city made you, what it was like. Give us a breakdown of growing up in the city of Akron.
Well, where I grew up, in Akron is pretty small. It's not really much to do. The biggest highlights of your date nights would probably just be like movie night, movies. Like pretty much, it's not really
Highland Square.
Yeah, Highland Square. Going out to eat, little basic stuff, but it's not really like too much stuff that you can like actually do. I would say I grew up pretty fair, in an honest household. Got a chance to, be around my mom, my sister, my grandmother at one point in time. I just grew up like pretty cool. I mean, I got a tight-knit family. My sister, my brother, and also my cousins is like actually like brothers and sisters. Like that's how tight knit we were. So it just pretty much was like that. So that pretty much like structured the person for real.
So next, I got a question for you that I think is one of my favorite questions on the show. It's what is your earliest memory or like even the earliest story of what you wanted to be when you grew up?
Well, what I wanted to be when I was young versus like what I'm doing now is like totally different. So if I had to like break it down to like the earliest memory that I have to do what I'm doing now, I would say that was probably back in like high school. And in that time in high school when I started like, you was there. When I started like selling like, wristbands, just some other merch, and started promoting myself and teaching myself pretty much about like, like marketing and pretty much like how to utilize your social group to the fullest capacity that can actually like benefit you, but also like get your message across. I mean, that's probably when I did that, like 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
The idea started when I was like in freshman in high school, but I would say that I actually started putting it out into the world at probably like 15, 16. So that's probably like my earliest memory of that. But like I said, when I was like younger.
Yeah, when you want to be really young.
Man, probably maybe like a football star. Maybe a football star, play basketball. That was pretty much it. Typical, young African American dreams. But I would just say it wasn't like really on the strength of like what I'm doing now, or like really communal based and like really like a high conscious level of like how to actually help my community. Like it was never necessarily something like that.
So like when I was young, I wanted to be when I was 4, I wanted to be a preacher. I wanted to be a priest. And when I was 6, I wanted to be crocodile hunter. And like how that ties to what I'm doing now with this podcast and how I'm promoting and stuff. Like I tied those together by the fact that like I like being in front of the crowd. I like teaching. I like spreading good things, So how do you think wanting to be an athlete and versus wanting to promote yourself and build what you do now connect? And also give us like a breakdown of what you do now, and then connect, and then tell me how wanting to be an athlete can like transfer to that. Connect them for me.
Well, to be honest with you, it all depends on the person. It's really person and central based. It's not really necessarily the activity of you being an athlete. To be honest with you, I was good at sports. I love doing sports, but I really stopped taking sports serious once I actually got into like high school. I would pretty much say like in freshman year of high school, joined the football team kind of late, so I didn't really care about it.
I remember.
Sophomore year, just played again just for like no really particular reason. So like me in sports as I grew older, I mean, there's not really like a connection there for me to sports to make the connection to, to helping out the community and really like being, as hands-on with, everybody in it. But I would just say like, it really depends on the person. That's really the central connection comes to, is like the type of person you are, because you can be, the stigma around like the greatest athlete in the world in basketball, arguably, really arguably, because, you know, I say LeBron, but people would say, you know, Jordan, the biggest stigma around him is him being an asshole. So it's like, you know, how do you like put the two together, you know? But it's like, as far as like you being in a community and you wanting to do everything that like betters not only just the people around you, but also yourself, you know, that's all depends on the person, really. It doesn't really have to do with like, okay, because you play sports and you got this amazing platform to do it. It doesn't really have to. Some people take that route, which is admirable, but as far as like me personally, I'm not the guy to make that connection. No.
So you don't think like your desire to like be seen or like to promote to get better at sports didn't make you want to get like that? They didn't build anything for you. Like some of the values didn't transfer into what you do now.
I would say there's more values in sports. I'm not trying to like demean the value of being in sports. I think, you know, it's for a social concept, as far as like being around people and seeing how people work and how to work with people, that's what can help you. But it's like I said, it all depends. Like you don't just get, you know,
not everyone gets the same experience.
You don't just get the same experience. You don't necessarily just like want to necessarily like help people, or not even just help people, because it's not even just about that. But just like you said, to be seen, and to your point as far as like making yourself like a household name, or, you know, just having that type of burning ambition and desire, you don't necessarily have to just do sports with that. You know, there's a lot of people that's like famous activists out there. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to just do with sports.
Yeah. So now let's break down what you do now. Tell us a little bit about what you do. Give us a basic day to day. Give us just a little bit about what's going on with you.
Okay. Well, every day, you know, I wake up, you know, at whatever time I really want to, for real. Whatever time I want to. During the week, I have like priorities, because I do work. I work at the Boys and Girls Club. And that's just like my way of like pretty much being like involved in the community on a daily basis. But as far as like what I do outside of that and what I do for like my business and my brand, Hvmble, it started off being like really just like a clothing brand, as you can remember, but it's not just, was never just supposed to be that. I just wanted to, because first of all, I'm not in the necessarily the clothing brand, you know, marketeer, or just like the CEO mindset of it. I just like the fashion business, and I also like to be, you know, around like people who express their creativity through making stuff. So like when our whole like basically the culture of like Hvmble and the brand line of Hvmble is pretty much like, how can our culture or lifestyle meet your lifestyle? So like you will see a lot of like collaborations and stuff that like goes down the line and stuff. Pretty much like how you could see Supreme pretty much do like the Levi or like, you know, Nike or whatever it may be, like with anybody else. Like that's pretty much like just the culture of the clothing brand. Also expounded into doing like a podcast. Like I do my own podcast. I actually have a podcast tape coming out next week called Hvmble Tape Volume 2. I dropped Volume 1 last year in November. 2000. Actually, that was almost 2 years ago. Wow. 2018 in November, when I was just like a freshman in college before I dropped out. And what that whole entire like tape pretty much like highlighted was pretty much just the like the emotions and the expression of like everything that I was going on at that moment leading up to me dropping out, like ironically, you know what I mean? So it was just like a lot of unanswered things that happened. On top of that, in Hvmble, we also do like a film industry is what I like to get involved in. One of my hidden talents is actually like doing directing, you know, filming, right angles, stuff like that. Like just really pretty much like put myself in the limelight of like, that's another way I like to express myself. So Hvmble as a brand, I would say is like a caucus, as you will, like a conglomerate that pretty much houses like a lot of stuff that can really exercise your right side of your brain, the creativity part of your brain, and pretty much like you identify with yourself with it because you like the lifestyle.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I get that. I think you're representing some really good things. Like representing like creativity is what made a lot of people become who they are. It's what made me become me. It's what we did a lot of growing together in high school. We had a lot of creative talks. I mean, we came up with Cornhub before Cornhub came out, right?
That was you. That was you.
Yeah, we could have made some money off that though. We could have.
Isn't it already made?
Yeah, it was made, but we came up with it first.
How we come up with it first? How you know that for a fact?
Because it wasn't out when we searched it. We were like 14, goofing around, joking around, And then next year it was out. It was just pictures of corn on the internet.
Okay, we gonna tell the story. Tell them the whole story about how the way it was just at football practice. We was on sidelines. We was just bored. And you coming to me talking about, I got this crazy idea, man. I got this crazy idea, bro. I'm like, what is this crazy idea? He was like, you know how like people got these weird fetishes, bro. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, we can do something with corn. Like, what are you? Okay, I'm listening. Like it was just like off the fly. It was off the strength of like everything. It was pretty cool. I don't know if that's exactly how I did, but that's how I remember it. So.
Yeah, I just thought like if you made a website called Corn Hub and put just pictures of corn, it would be hilarious, and you get ad revenue.
Yeah, ad revenue. Wow.
Yeah.
Like organic pictures or?
Yeah, just pictures of
like I mean, like the ones you take, or you just go to Google Images. Or something?
all of the above, man. There's all types of corn.
Wow.
They have it. That website is out. It exists. There's just pictures of corn all over the internet.
It's copywritten by Lucas Watson.
I wish, man. I wish we would have produced that first. All right. So, right now, what do you've got? Clothing out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything that you can buy right now?
Actually, yes. Yes, but you just gotta wait for a little bit because of the fact that my website is pretty much under construction. It's coming to you actually pretty soon. It's like probably in the next couple weeks, honestly. I'm just like real meticulous, like how I want my brand to be represented, especially because it's the first launch. But like as you see, what I got pretty much going on right now. This is just like my loungewear stuff, like Hvmble.
You can stand up and show them the full outfit if you want on the video.
I will later.
Later?
Yeah, because then I have to like move back. But probably when I get up and go. But I would say like as far as just like the brand, like I was doing back to like just the brand line and like the recognizable part of it. It's not gonna be like athletic wear. Like it may be like having some, but it's not like athletic wear like focus like you would see at Nike. It's more like comfortable lounge wear, like fitting stuff. Like pretty much like even what you got going on. Like I really like the color schemes that you put. Like that's actually really one of the color schemes that I have. Like you'll be able to like recognize everything. I don't really want to give away too much because I wanted to happen organically and really get away organically. But as far as like, I actually just bring a good point too. I actually brought some for you. This is a Hvmble care package actually.
Oh, that is sweet.
Yeah, just
should we bust it open on the video?
Yeah, if you want to.
Do an open up here?
Yeah, you can do that. I wanted to get this to you because you always been supportive. Not to mention, I want to make sure that I'm supporting you as well. So actually, the stuff that's in it, you'd be able to get a good look on it. That's like
this is sweet, guys.
Drawstring bags.
Yeah, the drawstring bag is just sweet at first, and then I've wanted one of these for like well over a year.
Yeah,
well over a year.
It's been a while, man. I'm sorry for waiting.
No, it's all right.
Hopefully I'll make it up.
I'm gonna be repping this stuff everywhere, man. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is clean. Look at this stuff. You guys have to go check out his website the second it comes out. The second his website drops.
Yeah, for sure. That's just like one of our like basic tees and stuff that we had going on. That was from this.
Is this your phone charger?
Yeah. That's yeah, I gotta keep that one with me. But yeah, that was just like one of the basic tees and stuff that we had. That was actually
Look at this
packaging.
Very nice packaging.
Yeah. I don't even know if you like the gray or if you like
they're both.
Cardinal more, so I'll just get you that one for sure.
These are. So how much does a care package go for?
A care package? This is free. Care package is given away for free. That's why I say it's a care package.
Oh.
To you, like everything that this is typically.
Okay, but like, so if someone wants to go and get some of this stuff, like.
Right. Okay. So during the time where I was like selling T-shirts and stuff, like that's how I pretty much just started off selling like T-shirts with the brand name on it. Pretty much like. Everything you pay for the shirt, everything else that came with the package was free.
Okay.
So the sticker for like your computer or car, your button pins, like stuff like that. That stuff came like free with it. The wristbands was the only thing that was like pretty much additional. It was like $1, but you boy, so I'm giving it to you for free. Just to, all of them.
Oh, this is sweet.
Yeah, I have more colors, but I ain't know like
which one.
Kind of want to keep it neutral. I ain't know which one.
Yeah,
you like.
this is sweet, man. Thank you.
No problem, man.
All right, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try and set this box up in the video here so everyone can just get a look. This is was my favorite logo. I still remember in high school when you were drawing up the mock-ups.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I remember.
I used to draw with my hands like all the time, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this here so that everyone knows what this episode's all about. All right. So now I got a couple more questions for you about what you're doing now. Like, where do you want to be with this? This is the last question about what are you doing now, and then we're really gonna get to know you. Okay. We're gonna get into you here after this.
Cool.
So this next question is, how where do you want to be with this in 5 years, in 10 years? Like, what are your goals? Your coming goals?
It's actually funny that you said that, because you remember when I just went back, if you can replay this video, like I talked about like earlier the idea of Hvmble like starting when I was like 14. So I'm 20 now. So technically in my head it's like I'm 5 years in the game. You know what I mean? So like 5 years came by fast.
So your next year's in the game.
Yeah, my next year's in the game is going to be that much more like propelling, because I actually got a chance to like structure my vision. I've recently put it down on paper as far as like making a Hvmble Constitution, employee handbook, if you will, like a lot of stuff. I'm fully licensed, got everything done, and it's just like, you know, now it's really trying to take stuff to the next level. Honestly, strategically, the way I put everything out and calculate it, I would say I want to start off with making myself, because I feel like the more I make myself as, you know, as my own brand, so like that's why you see Boogie Basquiat. Boogie is a childhood nickname, like you said. We'll get into like me a little later down the line. I'll discuss like everything that really much goes on. But 5 years from now is like, as far as like me growing as a person and taking people along that ride, because we're still young, but we're still relatable. You know what I mean? And it's like, there's a lot of people that's like our age that go into school that's doing what they're doing. And you know, if you anything like that's ambitious, or you know, just felt like there's more that you can do, you know, as far as like serving as that inspiration, I would definitely love to see myself as that, or at least, you know, get other people, you know, to notice it for me. I can't force nobody to see anything, but you know, like that. But I would say just like on record, just like for 5 years from now, I would just see myself like being like fully established, as far as like everything running properly, like the way it's supposed to, being mad comfortable, happy.
Websites, all the systems in place.
Yeah, the whole nine, like being mad, comfortable, happy. Like if I can just be happy, that's pretty much the whole thing. Like, I just would love to be just like extremely happy and like, you know, comfortable with everything that's going in, like the projections and everything. You know, not stagnant. That don't mean I'm stagnant, but that just means that I'm comfortable. You know, happy.
All right, so on this podcast, we don't only want to know business plans and goals, because that's the business side of life. That is important. That's nice to know about, but we want to get a little deeper, because this is the Dream Tour, and dreams aren't just business plans. It's what you represent. It's who you are, and we want to know about that on here.
Right.
So next question is, what motivates you in all the different parts of your life? Are you intrinsically motivated? Are you extrinsically motivated? Are you part? Like, what motivates you in the different things that you do?
What motivates me, I would say, is probably both, honestly. I can definitely get motivated by people that's outside of myself, people that came before me doing what they're doing, and just seeing like the type of amount of success that they attained. I definitely can get inspired by. But it, like I said, it usually the drive has to come within you, and you have to notice like what you're capable of and the talents that you possess. And really, I'll just say like the more I like learn to not take that stuff for granted. Like when you start to not take yourself for granted, you start to really appreciate yourself. You start to take care of yourself more. You start to see like not only your success starting to happen rapidly, but you actually like, you know, your drive is just like unstoppable. It's really the eye of the tiger, man. It's like that fire that's like in you. It has to be in you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To keep it going. You can be inspired. You can read so many books in the world. You can go anywhere, you know, and anybody can talk to you, anybody can say anything, but you can attain all this knowledge and you just be a spectator. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, you have to be a player. You have to be a warrior. You have to like really, you know, invite yourself into like real life, and you can't be scared to jump. You know, sometimes you gotta make that jump, man. That's why in school I was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, same way. Same way with school. I'm switching from Cincinnati. I dropped out of Cincinnati, and now I'm going to I'm going to Stark for web development, because I want to be able to build all of my websites myself, because I've got a lot of things going, a lot of things moving with Dream. And all right, so next is who are your biggest inspirations? I like to ask for one inside your life, one person you know, and maybe one, and you don't have to, but if there's another one that you don't know, it's nice to get a little bit of like someone inspires you that you look up to that you don't know, and someone who you look up to that's in your life.
Right. So I do like so much, bro. So it's different like inspirations that's drawn from a lot of different things. I would say one of my biggest inspirations, like growing up and just seeing like how you can change your life completely over from being, you know, at the lowest of the low to like for somebody that like destroys your community by doing whatever it is that you're doing, to like really investing in yourself and then really turning your lifestyle into your career. You know, I like Jay-Z is probably one of my like biggest like inspiration. Not to mention like I love the music, like not even just his music, but just like hip hop music and like poetry, rhythm and poetry. Period. Like I like to do that. Actually, inspire myself. Well, not inspire myself, but that actually, you know, just the love of hip hop and rap actually inspired me to actually like write my own poetry. Like myself. I'll not say like I'm a rapper at all. Definitely not a rapper. But I would say like just like writing and expressing myself in that manner. Definitely was inspired by just the whole culture of that. I think, and that's just like a person I could single out, but I would say, actually just saying that I'm more inspired by the culture of things than I am by one particular person, because that one particular person is ultimately inspired by another person, inspired by another person. So it's just like a culture or a way that things like move is what I can be inspired by and what I like to like embark on. So I give a lot of like credit to like, you know, people within my community and in my culture, and just seeing like, you know, just a lot of the creativity, and you know, when there's a need or when there's a want, you know, there's a way to do it, you know, no matter what it is. And like time and time after again, making something out of nothing is like my biggest inspiration success story. Like 110%.
So, all right, so let's get to know who you are a little bit and who you think you are. So you're 20 years old, right?
Yes.
So 20 years old, 20 years in, what are a few of your most defining moments? They could be good moments, they could be bad moments, because I think either one, they end up being good in the end. It ends up creating who you are. And so like, what are those moments that have made you become you?
Well, to be honest with you, I know it's the Dream Tour, and it's like, you know, happy moments and stuff like that. It's like you get that whole persona. But honestly, I think my biggest defining moments have always came with loss. Like it's never been like success. It never has been like, oh, you know, yes, you know, to keep this thing going. Like no, honestly, it's been a lot of loss in my life. Like whether it been like monumental figures, like, you know, of my own father, losing him when I was younger, losing a friend. I was thinking like Ellis, losing him like. Wow, that was almost 2 years ago too. Losing him, that was like another defining moment, because it's like a lot of things that happen is like, okay, when I feel like I have things in order, it's like bam, it's like something happens, like it's like you just can't count for it. It's you know, just bigging up like Ellis, for example, like when he died, the same night that he passed away, I dropped my first podcast. So it's like, and it was about mental health. So it's like, you know, I have to like keep going with it. You know what I mean? Like, why stop now? You know what I mean? Like, spread the word, spread his message. Like, stuff like that is pretty much like what like kind of like defines me as a person, I would say. You know, I guess you could say like that's probably just a test to like the type of person I am, I guess. Like, I take the worst situations and I kind of like try to flip it on his head as much as I can.
That's a great way to be.
Yeah, I got to. Like, it's never is going to be easy. It's never was like one of those.
Meant to be easy.
It's never going to be easy. It's never. If you're listening to this right now, it's never going to be easy. So like when you have those type of moments where you just at your lowest of the low, you really have to look deep into yourself and be like, wow, am I going to let this stop me? Can I let it stop me? Can I afford to? Honestly, I can't, because at this time in my life, I have nothing as a net.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
No
safety net, and I love it like that though, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like a lot of people go to college, and a lot of people go to school, and a lot of people like, you know, are in those positions because they just at the very least, I have a degree. You know what I mean?
Yep.
At the very least, I have a degree. But what about your integrity? What about your own personal resume? Like, people, what do they say about you? What do they talk about you? What actually makes you different? So that's never going to be something that's defined on the paper. It's really just defined in real life. So I like to like document everything that I pretty much have going on. So
yeah. Well, you're gonna like this next one, because you were kind of leading to it with saying like what you represent and what you like, how in real life what you mean to people, what other people think about you. This next question is, if when you die, what do you want to represent, and what would you want like someone close to you to say about you? What do you want to represent when you die, and what would you want a close person to say about you?
I'm a real simplistic guy, and I like to keep things right in front of people. So what I want people to say about me is, and what I want people to know that I represent it is, it's a lifestyle at the end of the day. Humble is a lifestyle, is what I promote. So even when I die, even when I pass away, you know, or even if I didn't pass away, and I just like, the legacy lives on because, you know, my relatability, the relatable part of this lifestyle has to be relatable no matter what the age. I could be 90 years old and like, yeah, I still got humble, but it's like, how am I reaching the youth? You know what I mean? How am I reaching the kids? So like, sometimes I have to step down. So I'm not even speaking like death onto myself, but I would say like, you know, if action shall occur, it's like, humble is and was Jaden. You know what I mean? Like 110%. Like from the podcast to the film, like everything that I expressed in these ramifications, or at least within this conglomerate, is me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I die, I don't necessarily want this thing to die either. You know what I mean? It has to be, somebody has to success it. It has to be a successor. So I'm like, you know, as far as like what's left of me will be this. Yeah. So I would say definitely like that. What was the second part of your question?
So the question was, what do you want to represent when you die? And then it was, what would you want someone close to you to say about you?
Okay. So what would I want somebody to say close to me, about me, if I were to pass away? Just say the truth, honestly. Because your perspective is going to be totally different from anybody else's. I promise you that. Like, I promise you that. Like, it's not going to be the same across the board as far as, like, who Jaden is as a person, as a character. But what I would want to see happen, if I was, like, in the heavens above looking down at everybody, I would want everybody to share their story and their perspective, just so they could see how diverse of a person I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Period. So I don't want to just be like, oh, you know, I got this version of Jaden, he was the a-hole. Or oh, I got this version of Jaden, he was the you know, the goofball, or he was the creative one, he was the deep introspective one. Like, there's a lot of different things, and you know, at the end of the day, what I want people to recognize though is that I'm human.
Yeah.
It's human nature. You know, I can be anything. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So pretty much.
All right. So if you died, you'd want to represent humble. You'd want to represent what humble means. You'd want to be called humble, even outside of the brand. Just be a humble person as well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. My Webster, but my definition of humble, like the Webster dictionary of like what humble is not me. Like 110%. I don't necessarily mean that. I don't necessarily agree with you having to take less, or you having to take the lower end of the stick in order for you to classify yourself as being humble. Like, no, I think one of the biggest inspirations of that is like selflessness, and that's LeBron. Like, you know,
he gives everything.
But
to the
you know,
city.
right? But you know, he has
They should
everything.
just give him the key, dude.
Yeah, he definitely getting a statue coming soon, bro. And it's like, you know, to me, he's a humble guy himself. You know
he's
what I mean?
very
Like
humble.
110%. Some people may say different. Some people may say arrogant. Some people be like, oh, you know, got their own like story about him. But I mean, that's because you forget that he's human at the end of the day, and he also got way more of a
pressure.
way more pressure than you will. So it's just like a lot of stuff that's going on. I would definitely say it's also more to me. You know what I mean? Humble is not necessarily what I'm going after. I just thought it was just like a perfect name to kind of fit with the lifestyle that I'm trying to bring. Yeah. And like I said, it's spelled with a V too. If you notice, it's because it's like it's not like a traditional like standpoint. And one of the main reasons why I spelled with a V is because your definition or your outcome, or not outcome, but your perspective on it may be drastically different from mine. But that's okay. We have to live in the same ecosystem. So I want diversity at the end of the day. So V is for variety. So yeah.
Okay. So, if that day that you die is tomorrow, would you represent what you're going to represent? Are you on your way? Do you have some profound steps you need to take? Where are you at on that trail to representing what you want to represent by the end of your life?
I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm wearing my emotions on my chest. So at the end of the day, you know, what you see is what you get. You know, I'm never masking anything. So. You know, I got podcast videos out there. I have podcast audios. I have like I said, the Hvmble tape that's coming out, which is pretty much going to be like a whole collaboration of like who I am at this state as of right now. So it's like a whole like capsule, if you will, of like some poetry, me exercising my talent, some monologues, me talking about my anxiety that I deal with, me talking about the legacy that I want to live, me talking about the relationships and how my viewpoint on relationships, and a lot much more, you know what I mean? And you also get to see, because it's all produced by me, chopped up by me, not organic beats, you know what I mean? So don't sue me, it's gonna be on SoundCloud, I ain't gonna lie. But you know what I mean? But it's just like, as far as this creative, like the process of everything, you'll pretty much get the gist of it. I'm always gonna be open to working with like, you know, different producers and stuff down the line, but that's neither here nor there. But as far as like like just going back to the topic, like bro, like literally who I am, I literally wear it on me. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm never gonna be, you know, like regretful. Like, you know, you ever seen like the visuals of like that mad angel that died, like going up because he's mad as hell? Like that would never be me. Like, bro, I'm completely straight. But stop talking about death, man. Yeah, that's like the third question. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Dang.
Yeah, I mean, I like those. It's the two questions about death. It's what do you want to represent when you die, and how close are you? Because I feel like that lets you get to know you more, lets us get to know really what you're about, because there's only a few things that you're guaranteed when you come to this world, and it's
death in Texas. Death in Texas. Yeah. That's all it is.
Exactly. So everyone's going somewhere, and everyone has a dream, and everyone wants to go somewhere, but not everyone takes those steps. And so this podcast is really built to help people understand all different types of people's dreams. Like, you have a very big and very interesting dream, and I've had artists on the show. I'm gonna have an MMA fighter. I'm gonna have a ton of different types of dreams, and so like these questions, like these death questions, everyone thinks about what they want to represent before that. And the funny thing is, everyone wants to represent something good, and not everyone's there yet. So
I would say just to add on to that, like a lot of people, like true, not even just like entrepreneurs, but true people who like recognize their purpose in the world. They already living it like they died. You know what I mean? It's not like necessarily like, not saying that you living it like you died. That's just a lack for a better phrase. But as far as like my mentality and stuff was on it, it's not like I have to get this accomplished or I don't get like whatever it is that I'm going after across. Because if I do die and something were to happen to me, like I would be regretful. Like, no, I think a lot of people, that's actually one of the purposes of you doing what you're doing. You know, it's all about a legacy at the end of the day. So I definitely understand that. And it actually brings in a more introspective view on your life and how serious you're willing to take it, because you should take it. Because you only get one. Exactly. So it's like you have to take. You
gotta live for your dreams.
Yeah,
you gotta go for them.
Yeah, 110%. That's why I like. Actually, I really admire like everything that you have going on. Like
maybe the first clothing from Dream will be a Hvmble collab. Maybe
it could be
Dream Hvmble, man.
Like
Dream Hvmble.
Like I said, it's like how does our lifestyle meet yours? So we definitely can talk about that. I'm serious.
That'd be something good.
I'm serious about that. I kind of like how that sounds too. But let me ask you something though.
All right.
How did you get this started? Like, when did this come on? Like, cause this just popped out of the blue for me.
Man.
But you talking like you've been thinking about this for a while now.
Dude, I've always been a talker my whole life.
Oh, I know.
But man, dude, there's been so much going on in my head, and I just didn't know how to get it out. And my best way of getting things out is talking to people, is like having a conversation. And I've got an app that I'm working on. It's also, Dream is also in the name of that app. But Dream is this pretty much my Hvmble, man. Dream is that I want to do a lot of things with the name Dream. And so like this has kind of been in my head. Like I've been thinking about what I wanted to do, because I with the short films and like filmmaking, that was my goal in high school. If you don't remember, I was trying to make movies in high school. And when I went to college, I used
to write scripts and stuff.
Yeah, I still have the scripts. And but when I went to college and like got thrown into the real world, like my dreams were kind of crushed. Like I was like, how hard it is to go make a movie, how hard it is to go do like things like that. Your chances are so minimal. And my idea for this came out of the fact that no one was gonna help someone who just had a few ideas get their ideas out there, and I wanted to be that person. I wanted to help people build their dreams.
Right,
so by helping everyone else build their dreams, it'll help me build mine. So like everyone's helping each other out, and that was kind of the goal here.
That's dope, because that's really dope, because like as far as that same outlook as being like the middleman, actually like one of the things that Hvmble will provide in a long-term sense of it will be, ironically, it will be like internships that go through people's colleges. Like actually I want to start on like Akron U's college in this fall coming up, just structuralize the plan for that one, for Akron U's, for Toledo's, and also for like Kent State. Like I actually like want to be like the middleman for somebody that can think of something different, because a lot of people don't give you an internship on being an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? Or like running something. Like it's not gonna happen. Nobody's willing to take that risk. But when you're small, when you're up and coming, you have to start from somewhere. And people like yourself and like me, like we understand that. So like that's really dope, bro. Like that's really dope that you're doing that.
Yeah. So we're kind of coming towards the end of the podcast here. We reached through all the questions, and I feel like we have learned a lot about you. We've learned a lot about each other. You probably learned a little bit about yourself today. I learned a little bit about myself today. It's nice to get this thing, but after all that we've discussed, I got one more question for you.
What's up?
What is your dream?
A humble life. That's my dream.
All right, so now I want you to spit out the Instagram, the Snapchat. All right, so anything that you want to promote and show people, just tell people where they can check out your stuff, where they can check you out.
Everything is Humble Life across the board. So Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, all at Humble Life. I don't know how you're going to set it up or do like.
I'll tag them in there. It'll be in the descriptions and on the video.
All right, cool. So everything will be Humble Life across the board. It's spelled the same way. HVMBLELIFE. So on Twitter, on Instagram, on Snapchat. Feel free to follow and keep it updated. Website is also coming soon. This Thursday, I have the Hvmble Tape Volume 2 that's dropping. Once again, it's just like a collection of like my thoughts and everything that's going on.
It's going to be last Thursday when this comes out.
Last Thursday? Okay.
When this comes out.
That's fine. That's fine with me. So just keep that in mind. Just go ahead and check out the Hvmble Tape. So you pretty much get like a more in-depth, I don't know, vision, audio vision, if you will, about me. You get to listen to like my insight on like not only just myself, but also the world and the way I view it. So, just keep it updated on that.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening to Dream Tour today. We had Jaden Davis, Boogie. I can't say it.
It's Boogie Basquiat, man. It's just
Basquiat.
It's just like the artist. Oh, bro. Before that, let me at least explain it to you, then, so you ain't confused. Okay, so Boogie was actually my childhood nickname growing up. So when I used to play like football and stuff, I got the name. But also I got it at like my parents' wedding too, because it was like I used to be the first one to dance on the dance floor, and I actually got it from my father. So he just said, "Look at my Boogie over there." So I got it. So from that, Basquiat came later because of like I paint vivid pictures with my words sometimes. So when they talk about Basquiat as being an African American painter, and it's like a famous painter. You should look up some of his work if you don't know any of it. It's just like it's just fitting. So it's like Boogie Basquiat. So Boogie is my persona. Basquiat is what I bring to the world. Basquiat is also like a contribution to not only just like my culture and pretty much like giving thanks to the actual Basquiat, the person who painted, but just giving my honor to him and everything too. So it's just like Boogie Basquiat is the name.
All right. So thanks for coming on today. Thank you guys all for watching and listening. Make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Music or Google Play, go ahead and follow, or Spotify, go ahead and follow. Thank you guys. Just remember, keep dreaming, stay positive. Whatever your dream is, you got it. Just keep working at it.